Young girl groaned. Under the dim light of the moon, a young lady with snow-white skin lightly leaned against a thick wooden pillar. The breath she exhaled was white. Her round butt was pressing against the foot of the pillar, and her rather sensual body shape was outlined by her top clothing. I can finally stretch my back and relax my shoulders. Lily put away the parasol. After all, her slender arms were starting to get sore from holding it for so long. This chapter is provided to you by Library. Show us your support by paying Library a visit. Her back was feeling moist and cold. That was because her kimono was drenched in sweat. Fortunately, the area around her breasts had a wide gap, so the sweat evaporates faster. Lily lowered her head and looked at the bulge that was obviously a part of her. Yet she was unable to accept their existence. The bulge was blocking her line of sight, and Lily suddenly solved a riddle while looking at her bulge. So it's actually true that in ancient times people don't put on a bra when wearing kimono. Naturally, Lily was of the firm opinion that this was the other world, and not the distant past. Otherwise, how could those demons and monsters be real? Want to go back? Go back to her original world? Is this a world where you can come and go as you wish? At the very least, she needs to recall how she got here in the first place. However, Lily just couldn't think of anything. Those two round bulges hidden under her kimono's neckline caused Lily's mind to wander. 1. Should I pull the collar to take a look? Lily had a sudden rush of excitement. She had never seen a girl's body before, let alone a sexy beauty like this. No. Just what am I thinking? Lily suddenly shook her head. It was not the time to think about these kind of things. She was still in a precarious situation. Although the night parade of 100 ghosts was already a thing of the past. Click, click. As if to negate Lily's line of thoughts, a weird noise came from overhead. A shadow suddenly fell towards Lily's head like a pouch. Without any time to think, Lily's body moved by itself and made a spinning somersault. While she was in the air, Lily could clearly see the ground getting closer. She had plenty of time to control her body that was still in midair, as if the time itself had slowed down. This was some kind of dynamic vision ability. It varied from person to person. When Lily was still a guy, she couldn't think of anything else once she made a jump. It was impossible to perform this kind of maneuver. Perhaps this was the differences between those who were gifted and those who were not. Lily flicked her body back into upright position in self-defense. She didn't sustain a single scratch and landed safely on the ground. She got up in a hurry and turned around, only to see a wild dog with an ugly man's face. It was standing at her previous location, staring at her with its fierce yellowish eyes. Those eyes seemed to be brimming with strong desire. Mirror, mirror. That monster actually spoke in human tongue. It was obviously a language Lily had never heard before, yet she could totally understand it. Only that this voice was cold and eerie. Suddenly, two more similar-looking monsters jumped down from the roof and completely surrounded Lily in this dark, narrow alley. She was too careless. She originally thought that the night parade had already left. In this world, just a tiny careless mistake could cost her life. Mirror, those monsters on the other side also spoke in human tongue. These human-faced hounds were greedily licking their mouth. Inside their filthy mouth were terrifyingly sharp fangs. And disgusting saliva was dripping from the free space between their fangs. Though Lily was extremely scared when facing the pincer attack of these monster hounds, she was carefully assessing the situation. After encountering a supernatural beings like Michizane, she was not as flustered when facing these monster hounds. Even if her body was strong and quick, it was still not an easy feat to escape from this narrow alley. They kept drawing closer and muttered only one word with their hoarse human voice, and that was mirror. Lily recalled the copper mirror she held in her bosom. Would she be able to run away if she threw the mirror at them? A split second of fear nearly induced Lily to do just that. However, have you ever heard of the Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf story? 2. In the next instant, Lily made a move that might possibly change her life hereafter. Rather than throwing away the mirror, she calmly unfurled the parasol and lifted it over her head. The monster hound stared blankly at the wall. In their eyes, the girl and the mirror she held in her bosom were things that were irresistible to them in their monochromatic world. And yet, both of those irresistible things disappeared right in front of their very eyes all of a sudden. All they saw was a white empty wall in front of them. The scent of the woman is definitely still here. The sweet smell of an unpleasant woman. That accursed woman. The meat of men is still most delicious. Where did that wretched woman go? And how about the mirror? Where is the mirror? So hungry, there are more and more warriors on night patrol these days. I haven't eaten any meat for a long time now. After we get the mirror, let's eat the woman's meat. The monster hounds who were capable of simple thoughts kept pressing towards the wall. They sniffed around and used their tongue to probe the surroundings, however, that didn't yield any result. Lily was even capable of moving nimbly about, dodging, and weaving through the crowds of 100 ghosts, so it was an easy feat to avoid the detection of only a few monster hounds. Unintentionally, Lily seemed to have grasped some kind of footwork. This footwork was agile, graceful, and hard to perceive. It was fine and detailed, yet precise. At this moment, Lily had a thought. If she has a sword in her hands, wouldn't she be able to kill them if she stealthily get behind the monster hound? However, Lily didn't have any weapon nor did she have any reason to take this kind of risk. She slowly retreated from the alley and made her way back to the main road. As for those monster hounds in the shadow of the alley, they didn't chase over here. It would appear that they didn't dare to get close to the main road. They only wandered around for a while before they vanished in the darkness in their disappointment. Lily moved back until she was under the roof of a courtyard. She didn't dare to put away the parasol anymore. However, there was another thing bothering her at the moment. Mirror? Are they referring to the mirror she kept in her bosom? She was thrown into another world without any explanation, completely penniless and defenseless. Aside from the clothes covering herself, she only possessed 2 items. One of them was a parasol capable of making herself invisible to the monsters. That was definitely an uncommon item. And the other one was the old copper mirror put away in the sash of her kimono. Lily single-handedly took out the old tarnished mirror from her bosom. The moonlight that was filtering through the cracks between the roof and the beam just happened to shine on the mirror. Lily was shocked. This chapter is provided to you by Library. Please visit Library to show the translators your appreciation and stop supporting the content thief. The surface of the originally tarnished and uneven copper mirror suddenly became bright and clean after mixing with the moonlight. And her face was clearly reflected in that mirror. Senior? Looking at the beauty in the mirror, Lily let slip a scream. That red-colored lips, that small nose, and that clear eyes. Just when Lily exclaimed in shock, the lips reflected in the mirror also opened up. Her white breath brushed against the mirror and covered it with a thin layer of mist. Lily hastily used her sleeve to rub the mirror and looked at herself again in disbelief. Senior? I have become Senior Sister? No, it's more like my soul has entered Senior Sister's body. My body now is senior sister's body. The so-called senior sister was naturally the person Lily admired in her original world. In Lily's high school, there were naturally a lot of female students in higher grades. However, there was only one who Lily referred to as senior sister. Senior sister in 3. When Lily was still a boy, regardless of whether she was in class or lying down on the small bed, she was a senior high grade 2 schoolgirl he always yearned for. In the whole school, even among the masses of S-City, she was a beautiful female high school student with some reputation. She was born into a well-off family, not too rich, but enough to let her live a worry-free life. Furthermore, with her inherent scholarly appearance, the boys were unable to resist the attractive force emitted by this proud black-haired sister. Not only did senior sister have good grades, she was also very good at sports. She was even well-versed in the 4 arts, namely zither, go, calligraphy, and painting. What made people even more jealous was that, though she was good at everything, she even had a pair of big breasts. Naturally, there were many pursuers in the school, ranging from children of wealthy entrepreneurs to children of officials, captain of the sport clubs, international champions, and talented individuals. However, senior sister had never so much as given them a glance, and yet she continued to handle them courteously. This was the part that made Lily most moved. Senior sister, she's just too adorable. It doesn't matter what other people says, senior sister was the most ideal and most perfect existence in her heart. Naturally, with such an aloof senior sister, Lily only dared to steal a glance at her from a distance when she was still a boy. How would she be daring enough to speak with her? She was only secretly in love with her. However, it was exactly this person who she yearned for, the senior sister who captivated her. At this moment, Lily had become the person herself. Previous. Next. Index. References. Need a translation check. Right arrow curving left. Yeah, no, I have